Pickering, he's busy strumming to the tunes of his favorite song.
Blue eyes crying in the rain. I guess when you grow up in a large family in a small town, music is a big part of your life. My grandparents all inspired music into me. My grandmother arranged guitar lessons for me at a very early age.
And at this tender age, he also discovered his love of the fiddle. By grade 8, he had a whole band put together, and in his early 20s, the county band was born.
We've had a lot of fun, and we performed in Texas and Florida and Nashville and all over Ontario on different fairs and festivals and the East Coast and West Coast of Canada. Well, 20 up and now 25, make a vibe, 25 all bid. 25 bid now, $30 bid, $30 bid.
This tune is somewhat of a theme song for Rick.
Because of the auctioneer song that I played when I was very young and learned very early in life, and I always wanted to be an auctioneer, and I was a cattle buyer for 15 years at the Toronto Stockyards, I developed a chant, and it was very natural for me to be able to do auctions. So as I became more involved in local fundraising, golf tournaments and different functions, they'd always ask, hey, get Rick up to auction something off. And I remember one night Ken Shaw was emceeing a fundraiser for the hospital, and one gentleman says, if Rick sings the verse of the auctioneer song, I'll give $5,000 to the hospital. Well, I says, what if I sing 5 verses? So I got $5,000 from 5 different people and raised $25,000 for the hospital by getting up and singing the auctioneer song.
Since then, he was presented the Golden Jubilee Award for his fundraising efforts and the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Durham Region Man of Distinction Awards.
Distinct impression.
But can you believe it's music that brought him here?
A group of my friends came to me and said, hey, Rick, we should have a jamboree on and I just finished playing in Wheeling, West Virginia, where they have a big jamboree in the hills every year. So that inspired me to have 2 bands playing. We passed the hat, and we raised enough money to give cystic fibrosis $267.
Every year, the event grew, and before long, thousands would come for the show.
The jamborees that we had was great, but we had to get a permission from City Council, or back then it was the Township of Pickering Council, and one particular year, they didn't approve it. And so we couldn't have a beer gardens. So they had to prove it as a public park. And that frustrated me to no end. So we ran the event without a beer gardens, but I ran for council the next time.
And the rest is history. I'm Kasia Bedorka for Durham Living.
Durham, out there, Greg Mansik's got the story.
Always good match out here in Durham is Pickering and Paul Dwyer. These two almost always play for the championship out here. Justin, student council president from Dwyer. I'd like to say hello.
Yeah, hello to all my friends.
But the ladies here would like to say something.
Nothing can penetrate a Trojan! Bye-bye!
Bye-bye. Trojans up 3-0 in the first. They go right to the air. Chris Johnson over the middle to his big tight end, Terrence Alphonse. That led to this 16-yard run up the middle by Nathaniel Covent to make it 10-0. Next possession, early second, it's Covent again, this time from 2. Next possession, Johnson lights it up again. This time 50 yards to Kevin Ford. 3 plays later, Kerry Adams high steps in from 10. This one all Pickering. They let the students out a little bit early to catch some of
today's kickoff. All teams were represented by both the players and the coaches in the prestigious City TV Play of the Game trophy. The action starts at 11 a.m. at Birchmount. Undefeated Pickering up against the Woburn Wildcats. That's at 11 o'clock. At 2, Michael Power and the Northern Red Knights. On Thursday, the defending champs from Sarnia St. Pat's meet Etobicoke in the opener. Lauren Park and Trinity Square off at 2. Pickering have been #1 on our top 10 for the past 3 weeks. They've got a good shot to get to the semis. Then it's anybody's guess.
We're ready. We're ready. We're as healthy as we've been. You still have to be in awe of St. Pat's. There's no doubt about it. And actually in awe of all 7 teams.
Well, I hate to put any extra pressure on the kids, but the general consensus has Sarnia favored to win it all.
Devin hits Nathaniel Covent for the score. It was 7-0.
Then it's Damian Bowen getting the handoff. He rumbles in for the touchdown. The Rams led 14-0. Third quarter, the Rams keep it coming as Johnson goes up top for Terrence Alfonso, who hauls it in for 6. Pickering pounds Woburn 40-0 to advance to the semis. The other quarterfinal game pitted Northern versus Michael Power. First quarter, Paul Coryell takes the pitch out and weaves his way to the corner of the end zone. The Trojans led 7-0. The Red Knights tie it up as Jason Allen puts it up. It's tipped, but right to Mike Long. He runs it in for the TD. It was 7-7 at the half. The Red Knights take the lead in the third quarter as George Zegas takes the pitch out and busts in for the score. A missed PAT made it 13-7. Then later, Allen hits Ashley Beals, who goes the distance for 6. The Red Knights overpower the Trojans 29-14 to reach the semis. Quad Fade, CFTO Sports.
Have a chance of going all the way here. The Woburn Wildcats have to put the jam on the ham. The Trojans tend to live and die by the run. On their first possession, Pickering ran a series of slants and off tackles. Their quarterback, Chris Johnson, hands to Nathaniel Covent. Covent rambles 35 yards. They kept it on the ground down to the 5. Johnson airs it out. Covent hauls it in. 7-0 Pickering. Can't say enough about their specialty teams. The Wildcats forced a punt. Sean Quinn hauls it in, finds a seam, and goes 40 yards. The Trojans were looking good. Next play, Damian Bowen gets the call. Once he got rolling, it was adios. 14-0 Pickering, 20-zip at the half. It was all over. It was a rather impressive victory, but you have to figure that Pickering's going to be in real tough in the semifinal up against Northern or Michael Power out here. I sort of like Northern because Power got beat up pretty bad against St. Mike's just to get here. There was no score well into the second quarter. Dana Royale hands to Paul Coryell. Coryell with a couple of nice moves. 7-0 Power. Northern got it back on a prayer. 4th and 10 from the 15. Jason Allen over the middle tip, but Mike Long at the half. They were up 21-14 late. Power tries for the onside kick. George Shakofis makes the grab, gets the block. See you later. 28-14 final. They'll meet Pickering on Monday.
McKenny's not here because, well, he's golfing, and why wouldn't you be?
It's a stress weekend for Howie. You've got to take the odd day, you know, because stress is a